Junior Motorsports has a new crew chief on the box this weekend as all three series are headed to Pocono. I've got your news, notes, schedule, and more next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ, a lifelong NASCAR fan and a chef with over 20 years experience, bringing you news, analysis from each race weekend, as well as tips and tricks from my kitchen to yours. I truly do appreciate you guys joining me here. Help me out and click that subscribe button. All right, guys, let's dive right into what we have got coming up. Pocono is on the horizon. Like I said, all three series are going to be there. We'll dive into the schedule and a couple notes about what we're expecting. But first, let's get into a little bit of news you may have missed this week. That's right, you did hear me correct at the beginning there. Junior Motorsports is going to get a new crew chief on the box, and guess who it is? The man himself, Dale Jr. Junior will be on the box for the 88, that's Zillage, filling in temporarily just this one race for the crew chief that was suspended as a result of a lug nut infraction. Also in the news, if you didn't hear already, Carson Hocevar was fined $50,000 by his own team, Spire Motorsports, for comments that he made about Mexico City. If you didn't hear them, I'm sure you can still find them on the internet. It referenced the city itself in a derogatory way. He said it before he had even gotten out into the venue and on track or explored around. Once again, a young person on a racing platform that had a live feed going and was being candid, said something in the moment that he should not have said, and Spire Motorsports has fined him as a result. They're also going to have him participate in sensitivity training. Of note about that, NASCAR did say that the fine imposed by Spire was good enough for them and will not include any additional penalties to Hocevar. Other things that have gone on this week, the win by SVG in Mexico City has renewed the debate about the playoff format. The system was called out by Richard Petty, the King, and Mark Martin, both saying that we need to return to a full 36-race championship format, get rid of this playoffs, get rid of the win and you're in, return the format to the way it used to be. Now, we all know that the broadcast members that are providing all the money for NASCAR are not going to let that fly. They want to see a playoff format. But, you know, an interesting point was raised this week. I think it was on the Dale Jr. podcast, where he said, you know, there's other forms of racing that don't do this playoff format, and they do just fine. And he's right. Now, is there a balance that could be struck? I'm sure there is, and I know NASCAR has a playoff committee in the works that are working on coming up with a solution. We may see a change for next season. I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that. But of course, the debate about SVG winning this past week and being deserving has brought up that whole format thing again. In my opinion, is he deserving of being in the playoffs? Yeah, this is the format, and they're playing within the rules. There's no stipulation about where he falls within the points. But I will point out, playoffs are only 10 races away. We have a couple more road courses coming up. We have a couple of super speedways coming up. And definitely some wild cards can be thrown in there. And there are a bunch of drivers that have yet to win this year that normally win in a season. So the possibility of SVG not even making the playoffs is there if he cannot advance in points, if we get more than 16 winners this year. Is that likely? I'm not sure, but it's a probability. It's something that could happen. So something to look for in these final 10 races before the playoffs begin. Final news, if you have not heard, this is more of a rumor thing. NASCAR is near a deal for a new street course in San Diego for next season. The Chicago street course was a 3-year commitment, and this is the final year, and it does not look like it is going to renew. Jordan Bianchi says that San Diego is a done deal and will probably be announced here very soon. We'll probably get all sorts of schedule stuff coming up here soon. I got a feeling they are close to releasing next year's schedule. We'll probably see that in the next month, if you ask me. Pocono is on the agenda this weekend. All three series are going to be there. Let's dive into the schedule here real quick. Let's kick things off with Friday's agenda. The trucks are going to put on the show. They're going to kick off practice and qualifying at 12:30. That will be on FS2. That will be followed by the race at 5 p.m. on FS1. Saturday will, of course, include Xfinity practice and qualifying, getting things started early, 10 a.m. on the CW app, followed by Cup practice and qualifying at 12:30 on Prime. And finally, the Xfinity race will be at 3:30 on the CW and MRN. And finally, the Cup Series will have their race at 2 p.m. on Prime. I expect coverage to begin pretty early in the day, probably 12:30 or so, maybe 1 o'clock, since this isn't such a premier event. Sadly, this is the final Prime broadcast of the season. I think all of us fans have been spoiled this year. I'm really hoping that TNT picks up the momentum, picks up the baton, and gives a comparable coverage of NASCAR this year. I know a lot of the guys in the booth in Prime are going to be heading over to the TNT coverage, so that'll be good. It'll help with that transition feel a little less rocky. Let's dive into a couple of notes to keep in mind. Denny Hamlin has the most wins at Pocono with 7 all-time among active drivers. William Byron has the best average finish, right around 9.3 among active drivers. And finally, I found this one quite interesting. The last 11 races at Pocono have been won by a driver in the top 6 in the playoff standings. So if you look at the playoff standings as it runs right now, Larson holds the lead there, followed closely by Hamlin, Bell, Byron, Blaney, and Logano. So those, I think, are drivers that we should initially this weekend keep an eye on as we head into practice and qualifying on Saturday. I'll have a update and analysis video Saturday evening after practice and qualifying have concluded. We'll update the odds on the drivers as they stand for all of that and give you guys what we're feeling for picks for the weekend. Finally, guys, I do want to round off this episode with a personal note, and this really is for the people that I know are watching all the way to the end, that know me personally and know this person I'm about to speak of. I lost a family member this week that was very important to me early in my life. I don't have any siblings, but she was certainly my little sister growing up, and she tragically died this week. And I just want to take this opportunity to let her know that she is heavy on my mind, and I am very relieved to know that she is not going to be in physical or emotional or mental pain anymore, and that her spirit is moving on and getting the love and grace and understanding that she so deserves. And whenever she's ready to try it again, I know she'll come back, and this time she'll get a happy, wonderful life, full and long. Gonna miss her. So, on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Racin-n-Braisin. I will catch you all Saturday evening with an update from Pocono. Stay happy.